children being trafficked and families being trapped in a dangerous underground economy here in the United States, to the families in concentration camps in Chinese-occupied East Turkestan. And I really think that the first modest step our church can do in recommitting itself to an authentic commitment to a consistent ethic of life is to recognize our unchanging and unchangeable teaching on the Eucharist and intercession. If you're a pro-life politician, you do not, and pro-abortion politician, you do not need to be told. You already know not to present yourself to communion. How much more so if you are a bishop, you do not need to hold a vote for what you all already know. Pro-abortion politicians who work aggressively to deny the most vulnerable members of the human family, the child in the womb, from legal protection, shall not receive communion. If you're voting on this year, are you going to be voting on the Trinity next year? I really don't know. Now here's the sad fact. Our hierarchy has been scandalous. Scandal means stumbling block. Our church here in the United States and Pope Francis were absolutely silent. I want you to hear this, so I'm going to let this. You're going to hear us? Our church was absolutely silent when ISIS was eradicating the most ancient Catholic community in the world, the Catholic community of Iraq. Our Pope was silent. He admitted this. When he went to Iraq, his very first words were, "I am sorry." He apologized for that silence. Pope Francis has to this day not publicly spoken out against the greatest genocide since the Holocaust. 3 million ethnic minorities in concentration camps across China being killed and having their organs harvested. Not a word. He is the last political leader in the world to remain silent. Our church has been silent in Latin America on the structural economic inequality that drives Catholics to walk to the United States. They virtue signal where it doesn't take courage. Our Holy Father invited millionaires and billionaires, NBA players and NBA owners to the Vatican to discuss structural racism when Nike has its shoes made by slaves in China. Literal slaves, the Uyghurs, are forced to pick cotton and manufacture shoes, and the world acknowledges they are slaves. So where do we begin? You know, I look to the Pietà as the most beautiful Catholic work of art because to me it represents what we are to do as Catholics. We are to stand with the vulnerable. We are to stand with the leper. We are to stand with those that it takes courage to stand with. René Girard said to stand in solidarity with the scapegoat is to become indistinguishable to the mob from the vulnerable they're attacking. And maybe that's why our bishops are just afraid. Like Peter. Peter fled when the mob said, "Are you with him? Are you with the Galilean?" He said, "Not I," and he fled. Well, like Peter, I pray our bishops repent. Repent for your silence on Iraq. Repent for your silence on the Uyghur genocide. Repent for your silence on the arrests of lay Catholics in Hong Kong. Recently our bishop, our priests, and our laity that have been arrested just in the past 2 weeks and sent to CCP concentration camps and gulags. Repent. And repent for your silence and your cowardice on abortion. If the bishops were to return like Peter and just return to the cross, return to the vulnerable, we would be seeing a culture of life spread, not just here in the country, but across the world. Thank you.
Our next speaker is the Executive Director of Democrats for Life of America. Please welcome Kristen Day.